Hello, everybody. Welcome to Campaigns Concoctions, where we are a bunch of bloviant blowhards who like to drink and play TTRPGs. This week, we, as always, like to say thank you for joining us on this adventure of cooperative storytelling. It is really because of you guys that we have been able to still keep doing this podcast thing. We would still be playing if we didn't do this, but we've had enough engagement over the last year or so that we really appreciate you all. But first, we have a few thank yous that we want to get out of the way. First off is we would really like to thank Balmer Peak Distilling in Lakewood, Colorado. They were kind enough to donate a bottle to the podcast in celebration of our 1 year anniversary that popped last week. A little bit something from their website. I think this really it kind of supports everything that we do. They're sustainably driven, pandemic survived nano distillery with a cozy tasting room nestled in Green Mountain in Lakewood, Colorado. Balmer Peak Distillery offers a unique lineup of small batch spirits and cocktails with globally inspired flavors and seasonal micro batch equipments. Experiments. So please go, if you were local to the Metro, please go and check them out, support them. I know John and Curtis spent some time with the distillers. They're also in the Discord now. So go say hi to, I believe it's Distiller Austin in the Discord. Shout out, bro. Thanks for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. And Curtis, John, I know you were there. You guys have some wonderful things to say, so please expound.
Yeah, they were awesome. They were fucking great. Excellent drinks, very tiki vibe, very tropical drink vibe. Excellent rums. Some of you may know that we had their anniversary aged rum already, and we went into the distillery together, and James made some awesome cocktails for us. Excellent bartender, excellent cocktails. And when they found out that it was the anniversary of our podcast, they decided to give us a bottle of Balmer Peak spiced rum. And Curtis also picked up a bottle of their gin while we were there. So we're gonna try to make every single cocktail that we make over here tonight. We're gonna try to make it with a Balmer Peak product, with a Balmer Peak liquor. And also on any Nat Ones, Curtis and I will be drinking Balmer Peak No Mort as well. They're locally distilled Malort adjacent Basque liqueur. I made a cocktail out of the spice rum that we were gifted. It's absolutely delicious. And I will read you what's in it. I'm calling it Sedna's Ink Pot. If you go on Instagram or Twitter to check it out, you'll see why. It is about as black as my heart. It's 1.5 ounces of Balmer Peak spiced rum, a 1/2 ounce of Kraken Black Roast coffee rum, 1/2 ounce of Averna, 1/2 ounce of Benedictine, and 1/2 ounce of my Serrano agave syrup, shaken and strained up in a coupe and garnished with a Madrid octopus tentacle on a pick.
Fuck yes.
Mm-hmm. Pretty proud of that. Not gonna lie. I feel like this is
the right drink to have the octopus.
Yeah,
on it. Like we've been waiting a week or two.
And the octopus is kind of salty, right?
Yeah.
And it goes really well with the sweet coffee flavors of the drink. The spiced rum brings a lot to the table from Balmer Peak. I mean, it is a very well spiced rum.
It's my new favorite spiced rum.
Yeah, is this it right
Hands
here?
down, yes.
Yeah, so one of the things I really like about Balmer Peak is they put their baskets right on the label. So this is spiced with Szechuan peppercorns, ginger, grains of paradise, cardamom, and cinnamon. Absolutely amazing blend of spices in this rum. And that's part of the reason that I went with the Serrano agave on there, was I knew that it would play well with the already, kind of spicy bits in that rum. Is delicious. And I'm sipping on that rum neat as well on its own alongside of the cocktail because I like it that much.
To quote last episode, hard samesies.
Hard samesies. And Curtis?
I made one of James's signature cocktails. It's called the Black Sky. It is a Vesper riff. It's got 3 ounces of the Outback Aspen Gin from Balmer Peak. It is similar to their other Australian gin, except it is finished and soaked in rye, charred aspen chips and discs, which is where it gets that like peppery flavor. And I love this drink. It's really simple. When I said, James, I want to taste something, I would like a cocktail that really puts this gin in the forefront so I can really taste the gin. I had a cocktail last time when I was here with this gin, and I liked the cocktail, but I kind of lost the gin in it. Can you make me something that's like got a lot of gin? And so this is 3 ounces of gin. It has 1 ounce of vodka. It has 2 dashes of Peychaud's, 2 dashes of orange bitters, and it has a third of an ounce of simple syrup. Tonight we used cane syrup because that's what we had on hand. And I did an orange twist where I twisted around, rubbed it on the rim, and then I just put it on the side instead of dropping it in tonight. And
I hang out on the edge.
I really like it a lot. You can taste all the gin botanicals in there.
I haven't tried that one yet.
Oh.
And then we would also like to give a special shout out to the Taste of Denmark, a bakery up, I believe, also in Lakewood as well. They make delicious, delightful Danish baked goods, and we love to have them. The metro area is very fortunate to have a lot of European bakeries, and these guys are spectacular. And Curtis, if you wouldn't mind giving a little spiel what happened there, how that came about.
Yeah, I went in to go buy some sweet treats and some bread for tonight, and when I was in there, I was talking about that. I got to buy stuff for 5 people, so I got to make sure I got enough treats, and then I got to get a loaf of bread. And the guy's like, "What do you got? What do you got going on?" I said, we got a podcast going tonight. Actually, it's our 1-year anniversary." He's like, "Oh, here, have another loaf of bread." So, and I said, "Is it okay if I call Taste of Denmark friend of the podcast Taste of Denmark?" And he said, "Hell yeah!" So, shout out to Taste of Denmark for being some awesome, cool Dems. We really appreciate you.
So that is pretty awesome. Just also be prepared just in 2 weeks after we drop this, Matt will not be joining us. He's got other plans and boo.
Yeah.
Boo.
Boo on you for having a life, homie. Come on.
Yeah, I can't turn down the free place to stay in the mountains to go skiing.
No, totally fair. But with that, is there anything else that anyone else would like to drop in the knowledge wise or thanks or anything like that? I believe I got them all.
Yeah.
All right. I will take the silence as a yes. But as always, if you live in the metro, go support these businesses. They may not be giving us any kind of financial support or anything, but we do love their products, and we think you will love them too. Go support them. If you are not in the metro, make sure you go and find a spot that you love, that support local. It's always bigger and better. But with that, the last time that we were gathered together around this digital interface, I can't say table anymore, right?
Right.
The party had landed in Strawwich, a small oasis town north of near the Bloodtooth Mountains on Wudan. As they entered town, were able to find the business of one Yalthor Gorlak, who was a male dragonborn. And every member of the party loved Yalthor's place. The wood paneling, the afternoon tea, cucumber sandwiches, the books that everyone was able to acquire. Everyone seemed to enjoy the place and were somewhat loath to leave. But also they got some directions as well as some information about the happenings of the local area. The directions were to one Brossack Wraithbeard, the magician or mage or wizard up to the north, as well as some better idea of where to go to search for the mortar and pestle of the 3 ladies. At this point, the 6 of you are heading out toward, or had returned to the Shirlene, and were awaiting for the next day, I believe. And you guys had spent the night awakened and someone had gone to the forecast castle, as we will say. So that person, what are you doing? That's you, Jared, with all the foretelling. The remember you had to make a point of foreshadowing.
Yeah, you foreshadowed some shit.
You're on the front of the
about
boat with the scroll.
being on the front of the boat. Yeah.
Oh,
You made a big point of it, man.
It's right next to those boobs.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, next to the boobs. Just look for the boobs.
That's for locations. No.
Boobs are good locations.
Yeah, so I'm gonna open the scroll and just kind of look at it and see what it's about.
No, your arm. It's actually uncovered.
Oh yeah.
What scroll did I give you?
The one we got from
Pretty nasty.
the guy you just said. Not
Card.
God damn it! Now I can't remember what I gave you. I switched notebooks. I ran out of room in my old notebook. Hold on.
That'll happen sometimes.
So it was
running out of room.
the guy said those seeking answers often find more questions, and he handed me the scroll. I think it was about. Oh my god, my notes are not great.
They're better than John's and mine.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
So I asked him if he'd ever seen
It's usually about the things you buy. Correct.
people infused with dragon's blood before.
Ah, yes. Yes.
That's what it was.
So you open it. What do you read?
I know common, orc, and draconic.
So you can read this device or this scroll because it is in draconic. However, the language as it is written out is a little bit archaic. Like this scroll is obviously quite old.
That checks out.
Okay.
We don't have it.
Hold on real quick. I got to write a note.
Oh, no worries.
I just need this.
Go ahead and roll an intelligence check for me, please, Jared.
All right. Sid rolls a flat 15. Pretty good.
As you scroll, God, that I did not want to say it that way. As you peruse this scroll, you
Internet.
You know, you're like swiping down to scroll on scroll.
That's so amazing. All right, continue.
Literally scrolling down.
Great.
I'm sorry, Morgan.
Oh, you're good. As you read this scroll, it almost comes to you in a breathless sound. You know, sometimes as you read something, you can almost hear the author's words as you read it.
Okay.
The script is very haggard, as it seems like it was written down fairly quickly. And it seems like this person, there's no name on this scroll,
Okay.
had been the subject of a pretty brutal experiment. The descriptions are of different sentient creatures tied down to cots and tables, and many things being injected into their bloodstreams.
Okay.
The descriptions of these are all liquid, and they all, so you know those like, there's like little tubes that you can shake, and they kind of have that thick milky liquid but has like a hint of sparkle in them.
Yes.
So that's kind of the description of what it is, but each of them have a different color to them.
Okay.
And then he talks about the person heading this experiment having an odd complexion, something that he had never seen before. And the reason is because the creature appeared to be a human male, but had skin as black as an ebony tiefling, the ones that are like where they're actually black colored, right? They're not caramel complexion. His eyes were had very little white to them as well. They were a solid black inside as well.
Okay. Do I get the sense that this might does there any connection from this person to the person that the scientist that possibly worked on me, or that injected me with my powers?
Are you proficient in history?
I do not think I am. No, I am not.
You're having a hard time telling,
Okay.
right? So like this is a really ancient scroll. However, as you are not trained in historiography, in archival work, or any of that kind of thing, you're having a hard time discerning. Like it feels old, but you're not sure if it's just old because it just happens to have been left out, or this could be something that's 3,000 years old, right?
Okay, so I will need some help with this one. I'll go ahead and like roll it up for now.
So this came in a case. Like it wasn't just rolled in, and you have it in a case. You get the sense that Yalthor really knows how to take care of his materials among his prowess with the arcane. I'm sorry, Matt. You always seem to miss some really cool NPCs when you're gone.
You did this to yourself.
Yeah, you deserve this.
Okay.
How dare you have a job and like try and earn a living?
So I'll I'm gonna
Traveling.
after I put it back in the case, I'll pull out some tobacco pipe and stuff it into my pipe and light it and kind of mutter under my breath. Guess I'll probably be reaching out to the scary lady. Why can't I think Lord Richter's daughter?
Oh, Prosperin. Also, I need you right now to roll an insight check for me real quick.
This one. Okay. Insight is flat. 13. Okay,
As you're sitting there, puffing away on your pipe, your legs kind of dangling over, sitting on the rail since the ship isn't moving right now.
okay.
Looking out, like here the stars are bright and clear. The purplish pinks of the rings around Liberarth are glowing down. Only one of the silver moons is up. And all of a sudden it hits you. And you open up your shirt to look down at the mechanical items that have been implanted onto your chest. And you look and see what is flowing through the tubes and into the different containers there.
Okay.
And it sort of matches the descriptions that have been given to you in that scroll.
Crazy.
Which color of draconic are you? A draconic lineage, right?
It's gonna be copper dragon.
That's what I thought. So what as you look at it, right? So it's the copperish tone it's kind of cloudy.
Yeah.
And what you see is like the spark, kind of like the sparkle essence is the kind of that sickly green of acid is what it looks like. I don't know if we ever described what copper dragon blood looks like, but that's what it looks like. Of all the things that I have prepared always, it's dragon stuff. Because dragons are cool.
Yeah.
Fair.
I all my dragons always have a little bit of touch of weirdness that don't belong in most D&D places because they're fun. They can all be humanoids. All of them. Because why not?
Yeah,
Might as well.
that's freaking awesome.
As the evening sets, and here you're up in kind of a desert waste, you feel the heat of the day quickly escaping the ground, and it gets chilly. You know, intellectually, all of you, that it's probably not that cold, but because it has been so hot during the day, that the drastic change in temperature just makes you kind of wrap your jacket or whatever over clothes that you have around you as you sit around. Is there anything that anyone would like to do this night before we awake the next morning?
You said the Epic of Gilgard that I got was not in a language that I could read, right?
That's right.
In that case, I'm gonna find Scald and so I need you to read this to me.
Where's my weird magic item thing?
Like a bedtime story?
Sure. That I'm gonna write down in common.
Okay, so
more like homework than a bedtime story.
yeah, my mom used to help me with homework.
Unless you do homework as a bedtime story, which would be weird, but
You do bedtime homework stories, don't
I
you?
never said that.
Yeah, that's what you said.
You implied it, didn't you?
Maybe
It's kind of awesome. It's kind of I do something similar, but usually the bedtime story is the homework for me. But you know, you got your own thing.
I hate when I don't save stuff. It's a web page and I can't remember it.
that's the worst.
I can make it up, but it was like I had it and I was like, I saved it for a reason.
But I get the impression from when you described it last time that this is going to take multiple sittings.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah. Epic. Let's see if I can. Epic of what was it again?
Gilgard is what.
Cool. Yeah. So you were, and who you were going to go and give it to?
The Skeld, because I know he can read it that nobody else can apparently.
I've got it. I remember where it's at now. Sorry about that, y'all. My brain farted. To the right page. Yes, I do have a saved page of books. Shocker.
As you should.
Sounds right.
So do I.
Uh-huh. Skel, what bottle are we drinking tonight?
Oh, we'll just drink some regular old rum.
Regular old rum?
Yeah, go to the middle shelf.
Is that one of them tea tuners?
Yeah.
We should make some tea.
Or you could just drink rum and call it tea.
They are similar, depending on the tea, they could be similar in color.
Yeah. Also similar to spices.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Should we drink it hot? Oh,
Let's try it out.
all right. Let's.
Why not?
And do you have a good way to make it? I mean, Elle, can you make rum hot?
Don't you do shit with fire?
I mean, I do stuff with fire, but like, it's not small fire. Like maybe like
How hot do you want it?
Tea hot,
How hot is tea hot?
less than boiling.
I light a flame on my finger with prestidigitation.
I grab 2 tin cups and I pour.
I start
pour a
heating up
double
the
in
tin
each
cups,
one, and I hold both of them
Yeah.
out.
and then I light my cigar afterwards and start puffing.
Tink.
Mel started to pull out his alchemy kit and like, fuck it.
I pull another tin cup out from behind my back, and I hand it to Elle.
I can't write and drink at the same time.
I heat his up
Yet you can't write and drink alcohol at the same time. Yet
Right. You got to be more optimistic and positive about your abilities.
I'm physically able to, but I would like to be able to read this tomorrow.
I can't read your handwriting, anyways.
Okay, so I need you're casting comprehend languages. I'm assuming Scald, right?
Going
Sure
through all the
am.
somatic maneuvers
Yeah.
of rubbing your eyes and moving the book.
I'm going to cast it as a ritual.
Okay, that's fair.
Takes a few minutes.
How long does it last?
A while.
8 hours, I believe.
1 hour. 1 hour.
1 hour.
Still.
And then go ahead and make an intelligence check for me as you're reading it. See what you can pull out of it.
Scald or L?
The ritual.
Scald.
That is
He's
just
the
Scald
one
for me.
reading it.
Can I read it out loud?
Sure.
Yeah, that'll be great because I got a 7.
So whoever else is in the room listening can roll an intelligence check as well then. Surprisingly, in the 4 years I've been running games, you're the first person to ask to read it out loud.
I think Skeld is just smart enough to know that he's not smart enough to know what the fuck is going on in this book.
I'll also specifically ask that because he's transcribing.
Oh, okay.
It's a nat 20.
Shit.
Cheers, Morgan.
Cheers, Morgan. Cheers,
Cheers,
Matt.
guys.
Clink.
So tasty.
That gin is
JMO to save the day.
It touches your lips.
yeah, it's so good when it hits your lips.
So that's just straight intelligence?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a 25.
Okay.
I got a 5. Patrice got a 5. Oh,
So
we got
Patrice, as Scald is reading this, he falls into the actuality of his name, and he begins to weave these tales. Like he doesn't, like you don't even think he realizes what's happening as he begins to tell the tales of Gilgard, a wandering warrior from a continent that none of you have heard of before. As the story goes, it begins with the massive impact of things falling from the sky. As all of these objects fall, the seas begin to rise in tsunami-like waves, taking over this central continent. After the waters settle, a few weeks later, what was once a globe circling continent is now a collection of islands. Gilgord begins as a lowly warrior with a tribe of island hopping creatures who are making their way across these new islands, seeking at first the items to survive. And then eventually they find a space that is large enough to take all of their boats and to establish a home for them. And it's here and then that the tribe begins to realize that they're going to have to seek out more and more to maintain their lifestyles. Gilgord is one that is chosen to captain one of the ships that goes out. This epic continues to tell of encounters with dangerous creatures, fighting the squalls that come across the oceans, about the temptations and fate of dangerous sentient creatures that try to lure them into their traps. And as they overcome it all, eventually Gilgord becomes the leader of the tribe. And in his wanton disregard for logic, in his desire to protect his people, he begins the search for a mystical cave that will provide items that will forever protect his people. The last half of the book describes the adventures of Gilgord and his shipmates as they search for this item, eventually finding them, returning home, viewed as a brave and successful warrior, as he follows the perceived instructions to bring these items together to forever protect his people. On completion of the ritual, a mountain juts from the island, begins spewing volcanic ash and steam out of its caldera. Eventually, after 50 years, the fog never ends. And it's here that Gilgord dies, as his people, desperate for the sun, begin to leave.
Morgan, just for my own personal edification, I rolled a performance check while you were reading, and I got a 16.
Yep. Well, I figured based off of what you and I talked about, it was going to be just kind of a thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I'm not even proficient in performance, and I have a +5, so it's a thing.
So is there any attribution in it to say who wrote this, where the story came from?
As funny as it is the author is labeled as the Bard.
Would that
yes, we have our own equivalent of Shakespeare. He's just way more interesting.
Right. And not an anti-Semite
author to me.
Roll a history check for me.
That's 19.
Okay. Anyone else?
11.
Okay.
18.
Wow. So Patrice just hit it, Patrice. And Elle, you two have heard about the Bard. There are a ton of collective works. A lot of the discussion around them is that it's one of those spaces where no one really knows how to differentiate between history, folklore, and legend. There seems to be a lot of truth, and then in this space of Libra, like, it's a weird place, right? Things happen, and it's like what seems to be far-fetched tomorrow seems normal. Mm-hmm. So he is probably one of the foundational writers of the general history of Librarth. The writers of the Zadmire have written extensively about him, as well as the many of the schools of magic that have history departments. They have written about him as well. The best comes from the Zadmire academies, though.
So generally speaking, anything we found that's written by the Bard, we can assume is at least mostly true, but take it with a grain of salt.
Exactly.
Just like your cocktails. Always add a little bit of salt to your cocktails.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like there is a really good point, as it is now top of the hour, for us to take a really quick break. And we will be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Campaigns and Concoctions, where that was the smoothest break that we've ever had. And I can't press a button because I'm doing this again for the second time.
This is the second time, everyone.
We're calling that a dry run. That was just a dry run up until 30 seconds ago.
And it was an excellent dry run too, which what pisses me off. It was really good. So
you
but
sounded
we
great.
have that was a really good break. For all of you, if you are following the Instagram account, you have been seeing the pictures. I know. I think I kind of like the way it works out, that you get to see the drinks that we're drinking about a week before we post the episode. So that is super cool. I really think that's gonna get you guys gigged up and excited for what we're doing. But what do we have? We have drinks.
You want to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay.
Have a name.
So, the drink I made is courtesy of Eric at Balmer Peak Distillery, one of the, I believe he's a bartender there, yeah?
Owner.
Owner of,
Co-owner.
you know, no big deal, just the owner, co-owner of Balmer Peak, no big deal. Called the Three Dots. It is fucking delicious. It's 1 ounce of the Balmer Peak Anniversary Overproof Single Barrel Aged Rum, 1 ounce of Balmer Peak Distillery Spiced Rum, half an ounce of lime juice, half an ounce of orange juice, half an ounce of orgeat, half an ounce of honey syrup, 2 dashes Angostura Aromatic Bitters, and 2 dashes Allspice Bitters, shaken, strained, and served up. And I put a cute little orange twist garnish on there, all flared out and fancy like. It didn't survive past the picture, but it was very pretty while it lasted. And the drink is delicious. Absolutely wonderful.
Oh, and the orgeat was made by Jared.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jared made the orgeat.
Jared made the orgeat at home, and it is fucking great.
Oh, it's the char on the orgeat.
Yeah.
That's what I got
Mhm.
on it.
So I'm gonna call this, my drink I made is called Sockin' and Toasty. It's 1 1/4 ounce spiced rum, 3/4 ounce overproof rum. This is both from Balmer Peak. 1 ounce orgeat, 2 ounces pineapple juice, 1 ounce of lime juice, and 1/4 ounce Serrano agave syrup, garnished with like 7 or 8 dashes of Angostura bitters.
You and the just dumping half ounces
That's-
of bitters.
No.
Both of
us.
you. Yeah.
Both of
I
us.
was looking at both of you. The two of you like to just, you use bitters like it's a liqueur. It's unreal.
What's the
As
problem?
do I in certain drinks of mine.
I know. It's
I
wild.
like 5 dashes of bitters in my martini. What? It's orange martinis. It's delicious.
a lot. That's a lot.
Morgan, you're my inspiration for putting a shit ton of bitters in my drinks, and I love it. I like going 2 and 2 most of the time. Splitting them up. That's the way to go for me. It's
I like
just-
bitters, man. I think they really add complexity to a cocktail. So it's like, and when you're only making like 3 cocktails, you've got to, sometimes because you don't have the stuff or you don't have the talent or the knowledge base, you got to mix it up when you can. That's why I have a fuck ton of bitters at the house. The spicy bitters are my favorite right now. I really like those. A spicy Manhattan, man, or a spicy old fashioned is just wonderful. So the night is uneventful and quiet as the crew respectfully declines anyone's attempts to go on watch except for Sark, because Sark does Sark things. The sun rises, and as usual, the coldest portion of the morning is right before the dawn, and it is bitterly cold just because of the transition. It hurts almost. Like, I think about the Arabian desert in July, when it's 136 degrees and then it's 75 at night. That hurts, right? It's not comfortable, despite as silly as that sounds. So, as 5 of you awaken and 1 of you is sitting probably in a crow's nest right now, what would you guys like to do?
When El comes out of his room, he's going to be in like the full welding setup, like the heavy leathers, because it's fucking cold. He doesn't have cold weather gear. He just has the heavy duty protection.
Well, so Sark would probably at least knock on doors initially, since it'd be earlier than normal, so we can start moving out. We have like 2 days of travel before we get to what we got paid to come do. So yeah, he would be probably right as light kind of crests the horizon, that nautical twilight, start moving out of the crow's nest and feel the like stiffness. He's not sure it's actual pain, but the stiffness from the cold, and just move for a little bit to get that out, and then go knock on doors, possibly drag Elle out of bed again, and then move on.
Sounds good. The one person that you definitely are going to find awake at the knock is going to be Sid for sure. Sid is out there doing push-ups in her morning PT. It's not as good as it used to be 20 years ago, but it's pretty solid. It's a pretty solid, like she's in pretty good shape, you know? So
The opening scene from Battle LA in my head. The Master Sergeant putting ice on his knees afterwards, after all the guys passed him. He's like, son of a...
Right. I think Skeld probably hears the commotion and gets up, wanders out while everybody's getting ready to head out.
So Cookie was prepared for you. You guys didn't even have to go back into the galley. Sitting in front of your doors is a little small plate with some BECs, some bacon, eggs, and cheddar or cheese going on there, ready for you guys. And also there are a bag of sweets. They are candied dates.
Yes.
Skeld definitely grabs a handful of those and tosses them in a little sack and puts them in.
So each of you have a sack that's about the size of a normal, like
sack lunches.
Uh-huh.
Well, no, of dates that are like this, like a typical dice bag, right?
That's what Skeld's going to eat for lunch.
You got travel snacks.
Yeah. By lunch, I mean he's going to have his hand in there or in his face the entire time he's walking until it's empty.
So are we going for the mortar and pestle, or are we going to drop off the ship for the wizard?
Wizard first.
Yeah, let's do the wizard first.
I believe that was half a day's journey.
Mm-hmm. Sark knows this group. It could be a whole day.
That sounds promising.
Do we have time to kill there?
Who are we killing?
Well, he's got, for what they said, he's the one that's got the space for me to do some experimentation. I don't really want to risk blowing up the ship. I've got a new recipe I want to try.
Time to kill, not time to kill while we're there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think that'd be called A Time to Die.
For somebody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's entirely possible that might happen too, but
Gotcha.
if not, then I'd like to go there before we head back to...
Thought your friends might have given you more information about some folks I'm looking for, that's all.
No, not yet. They're still in process.
Gotcha. Understood.
Oh no, if we actually end up getting there, the most we would do is gift wrap them for you.
I appreciate it. Well, I assumed he was asking on my behalf. Is there time for me to kill someone while we're there?
Because if not, I can do it later, but I'd like to
That's kind of why I was
play with
thinking
this
it was
recipe.
2 days there and back to the wizard, and then we'll go to the mortar and pestle. Well, go to the cave. We'll see if we find what we're looking for there. Everyone's saying that it's in this cave, but if everyone knows where it is and it hasn't been back yet, I'm slightly concerned. Either there's really bad information or there's something very angry in the cave.
Could be both.
So what you're saying is we should stop by on the way back and tell Mackenzie that in about 4 days he should be ready to leave in a hurry? Potentially.
Honestly, I think he stays ready to leave in a hurry. I'm not going to lie to you.
After our conversations of
and stuff like that, so just make sure he's aware that in 4 days we may be coming back hot.
I don't think it's in dry dock. I think we'll be okay.
based on the conversations that we've had about
entrepreneurial enterprises we take under, I'm pretty sure he understands that occasionally we will be leaving without regard to proper salutations. And then Sark just starts walking.
The ship goes fucking up and down. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, so do dragons.
You're a cleric or something, right?
No.
Oh.
I only would be friends if he was a
No,
cleric.
he's a device wizard, right?
Oh, gadget wizard. That's
Gadget
right.
wizard.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. He's a gadget wizard.
Yeah.
He knew
That's
this.
close enough.
Well, I mean, he might have been a gadget priest. Who knows? You know, they all look the same to me.
I
All I know is
thought
I'm
he was
pretty
an
sure.
inspector.
I'm pretty sure I've seen him touch something and it like fixed itself. You can do that to the boat if there's anything wrong with it.
That's why he has all those lenses. So you can look
Nice.
closely at things.
Go gadget laser cannon.
I don't have one yet. It's still theoretical.
You better say that at least once.
So at this point, Sark has taken off, and the rest of you kind of hustle up to follow as you are
Honestly,
cleaning out the business.
I'm following. I'm like halfway between the two groups and shouting all this over my shoulder back at L as I
L's
attempt
right
to
with
keep
you.
pace. Yeah, but I'm outpacing you. Yeah. I'm outpacing you to try and catch up to Sark without making it too obvious.
I'll just follow when he's trying to leave, because that's what he does.
Because he's used to it. Yeah.
As the six of you head northward, slightly to the west, this is the first like 4 miles of this road are kind of like this really rough hewn cobblestone, but it ends immediately, just cuts off into a singular track of what looks to be wheels for a cart. And as you continue on, the solidness of this path seems to diminish. It seems to get more and more difficult to discern. The only thing that makes it so that all of you are able to continue following it is the fact that there's nothing else around. This is like hard pack, crusty desert. Think Arizona in the summer. You know, that kind of hard pack of dirt.
All right.
But you continue on, and as the sun is starting to rise, it is definitely getting toasty again. It is getting warm. But fortunately, about 3.5 hours after you have left the ship, you see something crest the horizon that is moving. But it's right there on the edge. It's really hard to see. And then eventually, as you get closer, you notice that this is a windmill. And the building that this windmill is attached to is odd. There's a solid stone, like this is kind of like an adobe brick building. There is no coherence to the architecture. It looks like this thing has just been added onto willy-nilly throughout the years, decades, centuries. There are 4 chimneys in different locations on the house, and each of them are emitting different colored smoke. One is the gray of a wood fire. One is blue. One is purple. And one is green.
Do those colors ring a bell to anything? Like
Roll an Arcana check if you want.
associated with anything? I think I'm proficient in that. Yeah. Woo! 21.
Some sort of invention or production of magical items, but as you are a sorcerer, you're not going to be able to get too much out of it.
Is there anything resembling a front door porch area?
Oh yeah, there's
Ones
So-
of like, which door do I knock on?
as you walk up, there's actually kind of like a front gated area. It's almost like it's a small front yard. This fence that is about shoulder high on the average humanoid comes out and then produces a pretty solid space. But it's solid. It's like solid adobe. And then there is an iron gate. And as you look through, think the wizard equivalent of a Cadillac on blocks, that kind of a yard, right? There's just all kinds of what looks like unfinished experiments, just unfinished builds, all kinds of weird stuff that's sitting in the
Craters?
say again?
Any craters?
No craters in the yard. There are craters around.
Rest.
Sark will
Carl.
equivocally cock knock on the metal gate because he knows better than to walk through wizard portals in the hopes of making enough noise to be heard.
Okay.
Wang, 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 wang.
Yeah, there is a nice reverberation, and you kind of hear, "What do you?"
We have your delivery, and we don't want to trespass.
Get in here, it's open.
Sarge pushes on the gate and walks towards the house.
Charming.
I like him.
You aspire to be him.
Maybe.
Sark takes the crate and just shoves it into Elle's arms. Thump. You can give it to him then.
Women love him. Elle wants to be him.
That checks out.
So as you enter, there is a very distinct path that you must walk. There's no way that you're going to be able to get across the rest of this yard without following this path. You come to a solid steel door, and it is as you approach, it creaks open on its own. And the scent of oil, fire, sulfur, just general gnarly arcane components just hits you like a furnace blast as you enter this domicile. You walk in and you just hear the piston pump of machinery, the hiss of steam escaping, as there are just various different items that are laying around in what is obviously a laboratory. What would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna set the crate down as soon as I walk in and start looking at everything that's going on.
Go ahead and make. This one is going to be Arcana, and I think you have advantage on this.
It involves magic technology, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I think Sid would be slightly concerned that Elle might touch buttons or something, so Elle's gonna like kind of follow him and be like motherly and be like, "Don't touch that."
Sark's gonna now lean back against the doorframe and watch this happen. It's not me for once. This is great.
Right. This can't be blamed on me.
That is a lot.
That checks out.
It's 25.
So while you're not able to really discern the actual result of these devices, you know exactly what's happening. Like, these are the kind of things that you see and you wish you had, right? And in complete contrast to the exterior of the building, this space is immaculate, right? Everything's in its place. Everything is orderly. It seems that there are small notepads next to each and every single one of these devices that is working. You see items that are there for the distilling of advanced arcane chemicals from they can distill dragon's blood, that can break down diamonds into its liquid form. You even think that you may see a machine that can artificially generate residuum. You've heard about it, you've read about it, but you've never seen it. It might be there. But yeah, you have a full idea of what is going on. You are going to be slightly intimidated because this is stuff that you may know what it is. It's beyond your capability at your current moment.
Oh yeah, he's halfway between intimidated and starstruck, and not really sure what to go with it.
We call that fanboy.
Yeah, that's a solid.
Oh, it looks like they're making magical items or something. Like what's going on here? Can you tell?
They can make anything here.
Anything?
I mean,
Just find anything.
And anything.
What's the temperature in the room, Morgan?
It's comfortable. It's a little bit cooler than what most sentient creatures would find like that perfect comfortable temperature. It just feels like it's a little bit cooler. There is a very nice breeze moving through, but the only thing that keeps it from being a really nice space is that kind of weird tang of arcane energies scenting the air.
Acrid.
I think he can even make residuum here. I didn't even know that was still just a theory the last time I saw that.
Did he make? Is that where the residuum we have came from? From a machine?
No,
Where's that from?
that's from a cave.
A cave machine?
No,
Did you just?
Patrice, I think you're in the cave with the rest of us.
Yeah, I was there. I just don't know if they had to add or subtract stuff to make or if they just hacked it off the wall. I'm not an expert in mining. Maybe you are. You're an expert in everything else, including deities. Some bitch.
Daughter, thank you.
Did Patrice just complain? Is that a first? I feel like that's a
I
first.
think it might be. Yeah.
what?
He did mention not feeling good on the boat once. But it wasn't necessarily a complaint. It was more of conveying information to the group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, pulls out a notepad and starts making notes.
He's Patrice is nervously twirling the hair behind his right ear, just curling and recurling it, and just
I just thought we took stuff off the wall and then we're using it.
okay.
Well, we took it off the wall, but yes, somebody else took it off the wall and then we took it. There's no processing equipment there, though.
I get everyone to roll a perception check for me real quick.
Ooh, double proficient. That's not great.
Should I be rolling at disadvantage, Morgan?
Sure.
19.
Okay.
17.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
17.
Okay.
I got the same as my passive. I got an 18.
Okay.
Disgusting.
I got 12 with disadvantage.
So everyone but, excuse me, Sid and L, which actually kind of makes sense. As you guys are watching Sid and L, you watch as something flies in the air, and as you follow its arc, you can look behind a table and you see an ass in the air as a couple of boxes are shaking and rattling, and then items are beginning to be tossed out of it, and you hear the grumbling. What the fuck? Whatever the fuck? I can't fucking find it. Where the fuck?
Can I tell the gender of this individual?
Male.
Yeah. Sir?
Put the stuff on the back and just get out of here.
What are you looking for?
Stuff. Nothing that you would interest you.
Well, now you've really got my interest.
I said drop it off and go.
I'm going to choose option B.
Well, option B may include disintegration. As he stands up and turns around, and you see as he turns a fairly elderly male dwarf who is bald, tattooed all around his skull, and doesn't have a full beard, but has like just a straight goatee that is braided with gemstones inside of it. It goes down and is tucked into his belt. We're going full Tolkien in this one. And as he stands up, he kind of looks at all of you. Well, you ain't the normal delivery.
Nope.
Who are you?
The
You
Adam.
watch as he kind of reaches back, and you see that he is on his belt. He has like 6 books on his belt.
Are you a wizard?
What's it to you?
Just curious.
They
Who are
told me
you?
to be able to rent some time and equipment from you. I have a recipe that I want to test, but I don't want to blow up my home.
He's a wizard too.
Who the hell are you people? Who sent you here?
2 groups? Obviously, the shopkeeper sent us here with your order because we were headed here already, sent by those who kicked you out. Because my short friend there has similar nope, that word's too big for my mouth at the moment. Similar inclinations.
Proclivities.
That's the word.
I knew where you wanted to go.
Yeah, it's
Predilections could have worked as
I don't
well.
know how to say it right now.
I mean, usually this is the table that's going to give you all the words. So,
Yeah. Word of the day, kids. Proclivities. That's a good word.
I've only
Yeah, he's
you
only
just
blown,
kind of go ahead.
he's only blown up one room.
And it wasn't that big of a room.
Yeah.
That's put you outside after that.
He might have knocked over a building too, but I'm not sure.
And you hear him grumble, and he starts kind of waddling, and he just barges through all of you, right? And he's pretty solid, right? So it's not just like you're a little shocked for as old as he looks to have the strength that he does. And he goes into his stuff, and he says, "Come, follow." And he's kind of in general, but it's also being directed at L.
Well, Al's right on his heels.
And as he grabs the crate, he kicks open a door towards the back. And you come into an open space that has been lined with some sort of metal in the room, and the entirety of the walls are inscribed with arcane inscriptions.
I
Just
know.
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. You weren't done describing.
The room itself just thrums with arcane energy as soon as you step in.
I nudge Patrice, and I kind of lean over, and I go, "How much you want to bet this dwarf has blown up a few buildings too?"
That's what this room is for.
Yeah,
It's an anti-explosion room.
right.
It's like an arcane blast room. It's a bunker.
Yeah, it's a reverse bunker.
Yeah, inverted bunker.
Yeah, an inverted bunker. 5 gold.
Why do you think they kicked me out?
Damn it! You weren't supposed to answer yet. I didn't get to make the bet.
I owe you 5 gold now?
I think you owe me 5 gold.
Okay,
Yeah,
hold on.
Thanks.
I hand Skeld 5 gold.
Perfect.
I want to be able to like reach through and take it and just put it in my pocket instead. Like intercept the handoff and just be like, Thump. We'll save that for a different betting night.
No, I don't stop you. No, I don't stop you because I don't actually care about the money. Just wanted to bet on something because it's been a while.
So there's doors on each of the 4 spaces, and he points to the one that's directly opposite of the room when you came in and says, "There's a room at the top of the tower. It's got tea." And then he grabs L forcefully and drags him over to a table and begins to explain how his machinery and his space works. And he says, the only way that you're going to be able to utilize this space is if I'm here and I get one.
We just met a crotchety old dwarven shop teacher.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love it.
Yeah.
Make sure you wear your safety goggles.
Deal.
No, he's too old school for that. If you didn't wear it, that's your damn fault.
Does he have all of his fingers, or does he have any?
He does not. He's missing his right pinky and his left middle finger, but not all of his left middle finger. It's like the first knuckle.
Like, let me get that for you. Hold on a second.
I had a professor in college, Dr. Steele. He taught machine design, and back when we used to have overhead projectors for all the children out there, there was a light table that he would put transparencies on, and he would point with his half finger with the bone in his half finger, and it would be illuminated onto the wall, and that was every day, all day. He also used to hold the marker.
Sounds good, but
and the fact that this man had a half finger is why he taught machine design.
Yeah, not machine shop.
Also, I slept through the day he explained how it happened, and my buddy was like, "You don't get to know. You fucking were not there.
You fucked up.
You fucked up."
So let's.
I'm going to explain the recipe to Rathgar that he wants to make.
Okay.
Scald, you got that tea tuner?
Sure do.
Let's go get some tea.
Yeah.
Do you need to roll some stuff, Dustin?
I do. Hold on.
So
Sir?
as the 5 of you go upstairs, because you're quite terrified of what may happen with the crotchety dwarf and the quiet gnome who slings things.
Eric's gonna
It's
stay.
actually quite a pleasant room that you find up there. It's kind of set in the same style that you are familiar with from Talcabahad, with the kind of the rugs and the low-laying tables. There's not really any chairs. There's some bean bags, but there is a lovely tea set there available. There's even a hookah for those of you who wish to imbibe. But yeah.
What's this vase here for, Skeld?
Smoking.
Smoking?
Yeah, it's a smoking vase.
A smoking vase.
Yeah, and I load it up and light it up and take a giant hit and blow some smoke rings. And then, you know what?
Patrice. First time?
As I'm smoking the hookah, I'm going to attempt to blow a 3-masted ship.
Fuck yeah, you are.
Performance, please.
That's going to be 15.
So it comes out, but
Yeah.
it's not quite like, it's not Gandalf level.
Yeah. But it's recognizably a
It's
3
recognizable as a ship.
And then I'm going to blow another smoke ring that is a kraken that devours the ship. That's only going to be an 8.
It looks like a squid.
Yeah, so a squid comes up to it. Kind of like puts its tentacle in and it just fucking disappears.
Can I eat the garnish from the what's the name of your beverage again?
Sedna's ink pot. It's kind of like a honey pot, but different.
That's a good ass garnish.
No.
Yeah, that was Matt's expression too. That help?
I wish we had some video for this so that the listeners could see that reaction because it was priceless.
As someone who's been around and shat in a honeypot, no.
Good times, good times.
So the first attempt with the recipe barely works, but it does, and the second works incredibly well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna in the future, Dustin. That's how this is gonna work. If you get to a laboratory, because I have all that paperwork you gave me.
Yeah,
It's a fucking novel, dude. I'm not reading that.
Yeah, but
I wasn't expecting you to.
That's totally valid. Look, you know the information and mechanics exist, right?
And I trust Dustin to roll it. Like,
Right.
if
And
there's one person that I know is gonna roll it too accurately, it's Dustin.
yeah,
That's fair.
yeah, he's gonna handicap himself when he feels like he should be handicapped. That kind of stuff. Yeah.
So I now have now Rathgar has one, and I have one potion of exploding alchemist fire.
Oh my god.
Well, okay.
God.
What is a potion of exploding octopus? Do you drink it?
I mean, I'm sure
The
you
word
could.
potion implies drink.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm
Not
wrong.
necessarily. Not necessarily.
No.
Curtis has a point.
So
Apply drink, but if you drink this, it's gonna go very badly for you.
Is there anything on it that says don't drink this?
No.
you can drink everything once.
If you're brave enough.
Everything can be drank once. Everything can be eaten once. Everything can be fought once.
It
You're
lo-
just probably not going to survive.
The Webster's dictionary definition of potion is a liquid with healing, magical, or poisonous properties. It says nothing about drinking.
Okay.
Poison and healing both imply imbibing.
No, they don't.
You can pour it on yourself.
You can pour it on you.
That's what they did in Raise the
Pour, if
Last
you pour it on a
Crusade.
wound. And it's-
Magic and magical doesn't imply anything.
That's the way.
You can get poison through your skin too. I've done Jimson weed. I've fried for 16 days, buddy.
This is
That's
my
fucking
first time
poison.
smoking a vase.
So
How
you were gonna ask something, Patrice, to SOA.
that's
My
why.
ingest.
That's true. That's true.
This is my first time smoking a vase.
You're doing very well.
Okay, so I do
You
my
breathe
best
in.
impression of Scald. Scald, do you have any words as I go about this?
Yeah. So you want to pull it into your mouth. Use your tongue as like the like to create suction to pull it into your mouth, and then inhale it, and then breathe it out.
Constitution saving throw, Patrice, please.
God, my first crew was way meaner to me about this shit.
Yeah, but Patrice is special.
That's what my mom says.
Yep. He's a special guy. And, you know, life is hard enough for him as is.
It's a little unfounded, but you know, sure.
Hey, look.
I rolled a 21 on a Constitution save.
Life has been difficult as well, Patrice. All right? Life has been difficult for me as well. Honestly, for what I would like to consider similar reasons. We both have a virtuous nature. We're both very direct and honest. We both say what we're thinking, regardless of how it's going to impact the people around us. You know.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I agree.
As you're drawing in the smoke, like you're finally getting used to these new experiences. Like while they're new to you, you're getting used to these weird and unique things that are happening to you over the last 5 months or so. It feels like
Like puberty,
Yeah, like similar to puberty.
weird and unique.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
so. You are definitely not as proficient in the art of smoking as Scald is, but it does not cause you to cough or anything. It actually is quite pleasant for you. It's like a kind of an apple date flavor. I read a really good article on dates roll in Ramadan, and I've really been wanting to eat dates.
Dude, dates are the fucking best, man.
I brought some.
Did you?
Yeah, there's dates here. We need to put one in a cocktail so it can soak up the gin.
Next
drink.
Next drink. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll both do dates in our drinks next drink.
Mind if we dance with your dates?
Is there anything else that you all would like to do or discuss while you're sitting up here?
Is there anybody else up here, or is he the only one here?
You haven't seen or heard anything that would indicate that he has anyone here.
Any books around?
Not here.
Yeah.
Does anyone here speak Draconic?
I don't speak it, but I can read it.
I'm gonna hand Scald the scroll I got.
Okay.
Ritual cast, comprehend languages.
Okay.
If he gets anything I don't get. I feel like either this is just like I'm missing something, or it's just really fucking old and hard to understand.
So go ahead and roll, if you're going to read it, an intelligence check, please.
I'll read it out loud again.
Okay. So whoever is there and would like to listen can roll an intelligence check as well to see how they interpret everything.
A straight 16.
Okay.
Same.
Straight 8.
Okay.
Oh,
Just the four of us.
Okay.
I put my bag outside and then stayed in the
I didn't
room.
hear that. Sorry. Cool.
Experiments.
Right.
You got to keep eyes on your buddy. That's your
Yeah, so you don't really get anything more than what Sid got initially, except for I gotta grab the right book here.
Sorry.
Sark, the safety coordinator.
Until there's buildings to jump off of.
The problem is I have too many lore books that I have written.
And then there might be the one that you don't want to follow down things. Especially since I have Slowfall now.
Father, the Traveler, Calcordia.
That's what I need to do. Pop the growth potion after jumping off a building.
I don't know if this has any bearing, but the first sentence of comprehend languages says, for the duration, you understand the literal meaning of any language.
So it comes across as just this is how I've always ruled it, is you can read it, you read it as you would the modern common.
That makes sense.
Gotcha.
Right? Like you're not getting colloquialism or nuance.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Metaphors tend to be lost.
Yeah, that's why I was mentioning it, is I don't know if Draconic is a particularly flowery language in your world.
It is. And in this case, this is really flowery.
And if that happens to be the case, I'm reading very literally what those words say, not thought for thought, but word for word.
Yeah. So, but the one thing that everyone really keys in on is the name, the Watcher.
There can be only one.
Yeah.
In this case, there can be 4.
You said that the infinitive is incorrect.
Uh-huh.
What is it supposed to be?
There can only be one.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I need to watch that again.
Who has
It's a split infinitive.
we have like a
1,
sending
3,
stone
4.
to Patrice, right? Or not Patrice. Prosperin? Sorry.
I don't know who has it, but yes.
Oh, has it. That's what I thought. Okay, so not relevant. I thought that's who had
The
it.
sending stone to
That is
Prosperin.
Prosperin.
Sark has it.
Oh, sorry.
So it's
Also-
outside the room.
Yes. So that's carry on. That's what I thought.
It's on Sark's medallion.
Okay.
What El? What are the ingredients that you used?
Rum.
Gin.
It's actually just a complicated Molotov cocktail.
Petrol, rags, and glass.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I wish. This is way more fucking expensive. I have snowflake obsidian, lotus flower, desert rose, lodestone, ivory, and black onyx.
So after you have finished the reading, you've sat around, had a few dates, some hookah, some tea. You get this flowery scent that rises up as you hear coming from the below the stairs. Get down here. We're done.
I feel like there's like some memory, like Sid has of like some training, like in her like
an old drill sergeant.
Old drill sergeant, like Sid like just snaps off. I don't know. Like starts going down the stairs before she realizes like it's
Her knees hurt. The stairs too fast.
Like, fuck, I like graduated from this like having to do this shit and like just triggered me.
Well, right there, we're gonna take that as a pause. It's now the top of the hour. We're gonna take a real quick break, and we'll be back in just a few moments. Welcome back to Campaigns and Concoctions, where tonight I don't have anything pithy to say, so we're just going to roll into some drinks.
I made a drink that was designed by Andrew Zakum. We used the Balmer Peak rum, the aged anniversary rum. It's called the Last Bird, which is a mix between a Jungle Bird and a Last Word cocktail, which are two of my favorite drinks. So it's got 3/4 of an ounce of the aged overproof barrel roasted rum from Balmer Peak. It's got 3/4 of an ounce of Campari, 1/2 an ounce of green chartreuse, 3/4 of an ounce of fresh pineapple juice squeezed by Jared, and 1/2 an ounce of lime juice to give it that tartness. Pretty good, right? And we garnished it with a date.
Super tasty.
Because we were talking about dates.
Yeah.
And I brought some dates.
What's the
I figured that.
what's the James Bond movie? It's like
Octopussy?
No, that's not the one.
That's
like
the
a
one.
Day to Remember or something like that.
There's a few that have
The Living Daylights?
No.
'Cause, like,
Time to
I
Kill?
think there's Day After Tomorrow, A Good Day to Die.
Oh, there we go. A Good Date to Die is the name of my drink. DATE, date, not day. A Good Date to Die. It's 1.5 ounces of Balmer Peak spiced rum. Again, we're just going to keep running right through this Balmer Peak product
good.
here. 1/2 an ounce of Nonino Amaro, 1/2 an ounce of Cointreau, 1/2 an ounce of a date syrup that Curtis made months ago and has been sitting unrefrigerated on the countertop the entire time. So hopefully it's also turned into liquor a little bit. 1/2 an ounce of pineapple juice and
You're all gonna die.
Yep.
Oh well, it's been a fun run.
I'm like 99% sure I put Serrano agave in there as well.
That'll kill all the things.
Exactly. I think I put 1/4 ounce of the Serrano agave in there, garnished with is it a Medjool date? Are they Medjool dates?
I don't think so.
No.
Because they would say so on the package if they were.
They're Deglet Nor dates. Deglet Nor dates. Which are a little bit smaller than Medjool's now that I'm looking at it. And then I also fired a Demerara cube with some of the overproof barrel-aged rum to caramelize the Demerara sugar, and then dropped that whole thing with about a bar spoon of the barrel-aged overproof rum in there as kind of a float. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the picture on Instagram.
Yeah.
And the video of the flaming cube as it's bubbling. It's
That's
pretty,
right.
Pretty
That's
sick.
right. Pretty good times.
All right. Well, as 5 or 4 of you walk down the stairs into the laboratory, we're just going to say that Sark rolled a stealth check because, well, to be honest, L and Wraithbeard weren't really paying attention, and he's super stealthy. So we're just going to say that. Because he would have kicked you out. He wouldn't have done the experiment if he had known you were in there. So
It's an 18 stealth, so.
As you walk in, the scent of those floral notes get a little bit stronger. And he goes, "Well, that went well. Thank you. I'm Brossack. We didn't actually say who we were. Who are you?"
I'm L.
L. Nice. Everyone else? So I take it y'all work for L, right?
Sure.
L sure thinks we do.
Okay. Well, since I like y'all, what are you doing here?
That mostly. Since you're in line with the eccentricities of people who study things that probably should be left alone on occasion, know anything about the mortar and pestle of the three ladies?
He walks back out into the laboratory, and he's got books lining the wall. But this is actually probably, for those of you who are familiar with wizards, this is probably one of the smallest collections of books that you've seen. And you do see a bunch of books that are like laying on the ground, but they look like journals or notebooks. And he starts to kind of go through those, and you see them, they're flying. It's funny, right? Because the lab is super pristine and in order, but like he's a fucking whirlwind going through all of this. And let me make a roll for him real quick. He goes through 4 stacks of journals and notebooks, and they're just getting tossed all over this place. He goes to the bookshelves, and he's perusing, and you hear him getting louder and louder. Motherfucker, what the fuck? I thought I fucking had the fuck. He is very much a fuck kind of guy, and he is getting more and more agitated as the time goes by. And he finally stops, and he turns around, and his goatee comes out of his belt. He just kind of throws it over his shoulder, and he goes, "Fuck it. I just can't fight it. I got nothing.
Okay. Well, since you were such a lovely host, and I would like to give you a bottle of this nice Malbec wine that I've been saving. Would just really appreciate your time. Do you appreciate fine wines?
No, I appreciate the gift though.
Okay, then.
I can't taste the fucking difference.
You know what? Neither can I.
Not being able to taste the difference doesn't mean that you don't enjoy it.
So he puts it down. He goes, "Well, with that, I got something for you guys." And he pulls out, he's got a bag that's a little bit bigger than a dice bag, and he opens it up. It says, "Why don't you reach on in here?"
Sark goes for it.
You're going to get there before me. There's no way I can.
Roll a D6 for me, Sark.
Nope. Has to stay on the pad.
3.
It barely stayed on the pad. It's gotta stay on the pad. I see that.
Okay. So, what you pull out is a coin. It has what looks to be a carved visage of the surly dwarf that is right in front of you on one side, and on the other it has a really poor facsimile of the windmill that is above his house. And he goes, "Oh yeah, that's a lucky penny."
What makes it lucky?
It's so nice. It helps you out.
Fair. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
Sark flips it and then makes it disappear.
Slide a hand check.
That's what I was hoping for. I'm not proficient. Okay. It's still an 18.
Okay. So here's what you have, Sark. You have a lucky penny. So if you roll a natural 1 on a perception check, you get to roll a d4. If you roll a 4, you find another lucky penny. If you roll a natural 1, you get to re-roll, and then the natural penny loses all magic.
Okay.
Like, you get the sense that Brossack's got like these little knickknacks all over the place that he's about, right?
That's fun. Okay.
I was gonna look back up at him and say, I also have a recipe that I've been working on. I'm not sure. I think I figured out the potion of create wall, but I want to make it soluble to something so I can unmake the wall when I want to. But I haven't figured that part out yet.
A potion of wall and unwall?
I mean, like,
A wonder wall.
no.
From the Oasis?
Boo.
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 Boo. I should make you roll some sort of save and take psychic damage for that.
Rolling 4 d20s. I got a 2, a 3, a 4, and an 18.
So L, he looks at you and he kind of stops. That's some real advanced magic. It'd be almost like mixing. What was that called again? Is that you're trying to make, L?
A potion of create wall, but soluble to something.
It's almost like create wall and wall of water together. Give me that recipe. Give it to me.
Are we overhearing this, or are they by themselves? I'm sorry.
Oh, this is all you guys are all together. Like, but they're not paying attention to y'all.
I'm just gonna be like, L, a wall of ice.
It's not strong enough, though.
All right.
Creating wall of rock isn't that difficult.
Fair.
Unmaking it that's harder.
Also
Give
fair.
it to me. Let me write it down.
I'll just hand him my notebook, open to that page.
He pulls out one off of his belt, and so you notice the ones on his left side are fairly plain. But the ones on his right are fairly what's the word I'm looking for? They are they're obviously something more than just a notebook. So he pulls it out. He pulls out his notebook off the left side, and he begins to scratch it down. And he writes it down and says, And he reaches over he's got a little pile, and you guys are collecting these like they're fucking pennies on the street. He tosses you a sending stone.
I'll grab it and put it in an actual pocket.
I'll call you.
Cool.
Sark's not going to try and keep that one. He doesn't want to talk to this guy.
Nice.
He already has a miniature one of him. He doesn't need another.
And then with that, I was going to turn around and walk out.
So as everyone like is leaving for the doors, Archer's gonna be like, "What do you call a magician who's lost all his magic?"
He turns around and walks away.
Ian, oh, that's good. That's a good dad joke. I'm gonna text that to my brother right now.
Question is, have you texted that to your brother yet?
No, I don't think so.
You should. You know why.
So, as the six of you, man, I cannot do numbers tonight. As the six of you exit this weird amalgamation of buildings, what would you guys like to do?
I guess we should head for the cave.
Probably.
Yeah.
Question is, do we go back through town?
I still think we should stop in and let Mackenzie know.
Okay.
If nothing else, that we are planning on leaving in about 4 or 5 days. Since he asked for time to get stuff fixed and shit.
That's fine. I told him at least 2 days, so it's no more than at least 2.
So it's only been about an hour and a half since you guys have pulled up here. So if you guys want to go back to the Shirlene, you'll still be able to make it within a day. Or by the end of the day.
Sounds good. I'm good with pushing through.
And we can sleep in beds tonight. Those of us that sleep.
Well, no, if we push through, we can make it to the cave and sleep there, and then we have a full day at the cave and not half a day at the cave.
Oh, I was saying if you guys were going back to the Shirlene, you could make it in half a day.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I missed. Yeah, no. That's originally what I planned, and then I misheard what you said. So we're fine. Yeah, we can make it back to the Shirlene. I'm good with that. That was my original thought process, I swear.
And then we set out early again tomorrow morning for the cave.
Nice.
But then we can also get Cookie's breakfast again tomorrow.
So when you talked to Yalthor, you know that from the gate of the city, that the entrance to the cave is about half a day to the northeast. You guys, when you went to Brossack's place, that was going to the northwest. So you added some distance. You probably wouldn't be able to get there today without risking points of exhaustion.
That's fine. Magic House people aren't in a hurry. They gave us like 2 weeks. We don't need to rush. All the booze and food is at the boat anyways, so, well, all the good food and booze is at the boat anyways.
True.
Yeah. So, hit that and then head out early.
We just have our T-tuners.
Travel montage.
So, kind of opposite of the metro area, the mountain ranges sit to the north and to the east, and then it's flat to the ocean to the west. So as you were slowly making your way back to the Shirlene, as the sun slowly reaches towards the western horizon, it's not as spectacular as a sunset, right? As when you guys are around mountains. But as you were approaching Straw Witch, and that kind of sits on the right side of you, it is quite a lovely view as the sun sets in these kind of adobe. It's like this weird mesh, like adobe and like Islamic and Arabic architecture, right? It's really pretty.
Sunken into the earth.
Kinda. So as the six of you arrive back to the Shirlene, the captain comes up to all of you and says, "Well, hey, welcome back. I was not expecting y'all for a couple more days. but I am pleased to report that we should be finished with all minor repairs that we had left here by midday tomorrow. And we're actually, as it is, good to go at any point. Everything else is kind of like small fizzles, so we can get it all done. But I'm assuming you all still have things to do around here.
Yeah, we ran one errand. We got to actually go do what we're getting paid for.
Okay. Well, do y'all have a timetable that I can anticipate y'all being back? I'd like to have Cookie make something nice for y'all.
2 to 5 days.
2 to 5. All right. We'll be waiting, and we won't start till we see the whites of the eyes. If you don't mind, and he looks at all of y'all, and he goes, "If y'all don't mind, I'd love to get the crew a little bit of leave in town. If y'all think that's a good idea, and if that's okay."
Err on the shorter side, because we don't know what's in the cave. We're going to go spelunking. So, on the off chance it comes after us, if we leave it alive, I don't want to be gathering crew out of brothels.
I wouldn't worry too much about that. We have a special horn here on the ship, and everyone knows that once that thing's called, you pull your britches up and you get here.
Give him the sending stone I gave you.
Say that again, Dustin.
I told Sark to give Mackenzie the sending stone I gave him back in town when he was going out for some recreational self-defense.
Oh, yeah. Sark immediately, has this really puzzled look from him. He goes, "Oh, that," and then hands it to Mackenzie.
That's the one to you, right?
Yeah, that's the one I made.
Okay.
How are you telling the difference between all of these sending stones, Sark?
Location. And points at all his pockets.
Oh.
That's why I asked, because I couldn't decipher the.
Why do you think people from cities have so many pockets?
Do all people from large cities have a lot of pockets?
All people from large cities have lots of pockets. Yeah,
To hold all their sending stones.
yeah.
Well, I say, except for rich people, they don't always have stuff like that because they have people to carry their things, and that's why I don't like rich people too much.
People from the cities.
We're
talking about the people who aren't rich, but also acquire lots of money.
So that's just a thing to watch out for. You can usually tell who got a little bit of coin because they don't got pockets. They don't smell like shit.
That's true.
That is
not wrong.
Unfortunately, incredibly true.
I mean, it depends on the city.
Patrice sniffs himself.
Well, we all kind of stink from time to time. We do a pretty good job with hygiene around here, but it is what it is. The people in
walk around today, you're gonna be a little more odorous.
it is what it is, and we'll get it all squared away. But don't worry about it. We'll get you taken care of. Make sure the ship's ready to go. Make sure the crew is ready to go. But not now. So I think it's time for us to all have supper, and you all can do as y'all see fit, as it is your boat.
And we'll let you know as we're coming back the condition if we may be coming back a little hot.
If you're coming back hot, we may come to you.
That actually sounds ideal. Not gonna lie. Big fan of that. Big fan of that plan.
You won't be the first hot extraction that we've had. Miss Prosperin was known to get into a little bit of a mix from time to time, and she liked to do it on her own. Would never take none of us with her. So we got real good at getting up there real quick and taking care of her.
And she's pretty hot.
In many different ways.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping we don't have any issues of that magnitude for a while.
I wouldn't take you if it was of that magnitude, because I don't think even the 6 of y'all combined could handle what she can.
Yeah, no.
I might be able to outrun it. Then Sark just wanders off.
Well, sorry. Brossack's voice got me.
Yeah.
That was a rough one.
It was pretty gruff.
That's why I'm glad he's not going to be one that you guys are going to be hopefully seeing too much of.
He's not our Victor,
I mean,
Is.
right?
Victor was only on 3 episodes too.
True.
Keep in mind.
Very true.
But at this point, because like as the sun sets, it's probably the only time of day where it's pleasant enough that you're not hiding either from the sun or from the cold. So it seems like over the last 2 days, fairly quickly, the crew have established. They bring out the tables and the chairs from the galley and set it out on the deck, and then they have a meal together there. And so they do, as you guys have gotten to know them, it's a very cordial environment, especially considering like your owners, like of the ship. They treat you better than, especially those of you who are sailors. Like you're not expecting this. Like owners don't get this kind of treatment. Like you guys are considered part of the crew. And so like you guys are brought down, ale has been brought up. And so, a simple meal of, just kind of like some sort of like maybe some yard bird and something like that. But it's, nice to kind of have a moment of rest and respite as the party is kind of recovering, getting ready to set on to the next task.
Go
ahead.
I turn to Patrice and I say, you ever eaten seagull before?
Why would one do that?
And then I take a bite of the nondescript bird on my plate and just sit back and start sipping on my my glass of rum that I've got there, and just with a very subtle, extremely pleased with myself smile.
Patrice shudders and then looks down at his plate and then okay. And then he tries it again. And he goes,
I've expected seagull to be a little stringier. I'll finish that if you're not going to. Looking at Patrice.
In towns like this, people feed them a lot, so they end up being a lot more tender than you expect.
Well, that's fair.
Are they actually seagulls this far inland, or are they just gulls?
She's not that far.
My boat flies,
our boat flies.
which means that's also the sea.
Does that make it air kill?
Whatever they are, they're delicious.
Well, Cookie knows how to just cook just about anything in a place in a way that just makes it so sumptuous.
It is delightful. It is delightful.
Quite delightful. And I tell you what, having this rum that y'all brought aboard, tell you what, crew has not been happier in a long time.
Well, we're going to try to keep you guys that way.
We aim to please.
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, generally,
Ourselves.
I aim to
Yeah, ourselves. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Usually if I'm aiming, it's to kill something, though.
You have to aim.
I don't know.
What do you
Shit
think this
just
is?
crazy black shit just shoots out of my hands and then things die. I don't really know how it works.
But it's not magic.
It's definitely. I mean, it might be magic, but I don't do magic.
Got it.
It's definitely magic. She does magic for him. I don't know who she is yet, but
Yeah, that checks out. Yeah,
she's the one that caught us when we fell.
that's the one.
That's the one.
Very cold, kind of creepy, but I like her.
Clammy. Chilling.
Yeah,
Almost like a chilling touch, if you will.
very tentacly. It was odd.
Well, as supper ends and the chill begins to creep over the gunnels of the Shirlene's deck, the crew cleans up, moves the tables and chairs and benches back into the galley. The lights and the torches are lit and watches are set. You are not expected to maintain a watch at this point, because the ship is stationary. It's a little bit easier to maintain watches. The 6 of you go down for the evening. And that's where we're going to end for this week.
Woo!
As we've gotten to a good stopping point. And then next week we will take on with you, the 6 of you leaving to go and find the cave, where we do see what happens after that. So,
real quick, big shout out and thank you to Balmer Peak for providing us our anniversary gift of that spiced rum. And in thanks to them, Curtis and I will be doing a shot of their No Mort. I think everybody else has some variation on their rum or gin.
The rest of
I
us
do
are
not, because I don't think we have it here yet. But
You don't yet. But yeah, the rest of us at the table.
I did also want to give another quick shout out that I forgot at the top. I did want to thank Trudy at Board Fox Games here in Grand Junction. That has been a great shop. As we know, as most of you know, when you move to a new city, things are a little tough at times. But those people there, the Jester's Playground, Warhammer community, all of those guys have been really wonderful. And we're hoping to start. We've got some local content creators and D&D game designer stuff that we're going to look to get into. So thank you, Trudy. Thank you, Board Fox Games. I really appreciate you guys for taking care of me. But with that, I think we're going to wrap it up for the week. We thank you, as always, for joining us on this adventure of cooperative storytelling. You can find us on the interwebs at the link down in the show notes. You can also just find us at Instagram at instagram.com/campaignconcoctionspod, or search at campaignconcoctionspod. Please like, subscribe, share, do all the things. Things are a little bit weird in podcast land, as Anchor has now become Spotify podcasts. So some of the links will probably have changed at some point, but you should still be able to find us wherever you find podcasts, any of your favorite podcatchers. So we thank you so much as always. And until next time, drink well.
Or drink no more.
Well.